Hey guys, this is such a beautiful day today, overcast. I thought since the sun isn't so bright and intense, this would be a great time to do my end of June 2025 garden tour. It rained this morning and it was a beautiful rain, very refreshing. We had 3 days of almost 100 degrees. The plants were all suffering, but with that rain, everything is looking beautiful and flourishing right now. So I want to show you the garden. So basically I have 5 garden beds around this circular, driveway that we've created on the property. And we're going to just start with the first one. This is the first garden bed. It contains mainly of just coneflowers in here, and they are looking beautiful. With the rain, you can see some of the branches fell over, probably broke off or either got floppy. But in here I have 2 different types of coneflower. I do apologize again, I do not know the type or the variety. I just know they're coneflowers, and the color is so beautiful. It meshes great together. I've got white, and then I've got this, it's almost a lavender. It's pink, but it's also like a lavender-ish pink. It's not just pink. Look at those 2 hanging out. The pollinators are loving it, the bumblebee and the butterflies. They're all just enjoying everything about the coneflowers. So just a beautiful, beautiful setup. They've been in the ground for 3 years now, so they are at maturity. The height is probably, I would say, 2 feet tall and about 2 feet wide. So they do fill up the space pretty good. You can see the smaller one. This is a new one that grew from seedlings, so they're a little bit smaller, not as robust. I've got Miss Molly butterfly bush in here. You can see though, this spot is going to be a little bit too small for her. She's grown from a cutting, so probably by next year she's going to get super full. And honestly, in between there, you can't really see it, but there is a seedling that I grew of the false indigo plant. It's going to get big, so they're going to be competing. We're going to see how they look like next year, and one of them's going to have to come out, but right now they're looking great. Over here I've got 2 different colors. The color blend, I didn't realize it, but sometimes your garden work well together even without you really paying too much attention to the color. But you can see here the calla lilies that I planted. This is the pink purplish variety, and it meshes great with this white variety. This is a white one. These are aged, that's why they're starting to close up. But they are beautiful, and the 2 color of the calla lilies really coordinate great with the 2-tone color of the coneflower. You can see different plants, but same color, looking amazing. And the angel trumpet is finally starting to bloom. Look how she is. She is probably about 5 feet tall. I am about 5 feet tall. And she's doing great, pushing out new flowers. Fresh new one that comes out. Let me show you what it looks like. So the first time when they bloom, you can see they come out and they look yellow. I don't want to disturb the bumblebee, but if you come in here, see how this one is just freshly pushed out? So it's like a neon green color, and then as they continue to grow out, they turn into this yellowish color, and then eventually fade into this kind of like a soft pink salmon color. So that one is an angel trumpet, and she's great. I really enjoy her. In the evening time, her scent is intoxicating. It smells of this like sweet, if you ever smell honeysuckle, that's what I imagine. They smell like, the flowers only last for a day when they are in bloom, and then they kind of die off like this, and then they'll push out, and then they will form a seed pod. I usually snip it off because I want it to continuously bloom. But that color, of course, meshed with the coneflowers and the calla lilies. So everything's looking great over there. I've got a sedum. Super big. I definitely would recommend sedum. The only thing is they flop over because of where we garden. Very high humidity. I garden in the South Zone 8A. So the hot humidity, they do like the hot, but the humidity and the rain really gets to them and it causes them to flop. But they are beautiful when they bloom. And you can see they're pushing out now, getting ready to set blooms. All of these will turn into blooms, and it's so beautiful, and the pollinators love them. So the pollinators get food pretty much from spring all the way to almost winter time. From coneflowers to sedums to bee balms. I have bee balms over here that have already sprouted and formed, and these are the smaller in stature but purple variety. This is the only flower left. You can see everything else has pretty much gone to seed and drying up. I need to come in here and just deadhead everything. You can see it's pushing in second flush down below. So if you cut it all the way back, you'll get a second flush. Not as big as the first one, but bee balms are really pretty in the garden for the pollinator. Got double knockout rose here, grown from cutting. This is a Japanese maple. I'm not sure the variety. I'm hoping that it's Bloodgood, but it's kind of just all over the place. It looks like there's a spider on it right now. I need to come in and clean. These spiders do make a mess in the garden trying to get their food. Coneflowers. Got some additional coneflowers. These came up from seedlings. You can see they're doing great. This one over here looks like there's two mixture of seedling. So I've got the red and the white one. That's why you'll see it intermixing here. Because the seed head drops and then up comes the plant. And sometimes you'll get two variety into one area. And then that's how you get this bitone color. Those are the same one coming out. Another angel trumpet pushing up. It's amazing to see how in your garden you'll plant the same thing. So I've got this angel trumpet and this angel trumpet, and they're both the same, but one is already pushing flower and the first set's already gone. This one doesn't even have any buds on it. So amazing how they all grow on their own different heights. So kind of like kids, I guess. Same environment, just different growth habits. And that's okay too. Got more coneflowers over here, double knockout rose. Got some coleus going from cutting. So generally I try to save money as best I can by either doing seedlings or by cuttings. And what I'll do is, of course, I'll purchase a sedum that I like, and then from one I will propagate from cutting and try to get as many and then put them in the ground. The only bad thing is they're not full and big, so the dogs tend to either fall on them, run through them, trample them, all of the above. So it's kind of hard to get them to grow, but I do what I can to save some money. And this here is a beautiful panicle hydrangea. I think this is, I want to say it's vanilla strawberry or strawberry vanilla. The stem is a little bit on the darker side than if you were to just see on regular, like a limelight hydrangea. But the blooms are beautiful. I have this one in a standard, but you can see with all the rain we have, she tends to flop. So I had to stake her up. Once she's done blooming, I'm going to cut her back and then hopefully get a second flush. This is a hardy hibiscus Midnight Marvel. Look at this beautiful dark texture of the color of the leaves contrast to this is a Pinky Winky, I believe. Look at how big this Pinky Winky bloom is. And amazingly enough, the lace cap looking panicle hydrangea attracts more pollinator than just like the limelight ones, the ones that isn't lace cap. So this one is just the panicle in itself, and you can see it doesn't attract too much. But if you look at the lace cap panicle, look at all these tiny little ants and bugs and everything that's in it. They're really going into town. And there's multiple that's coming out, but that one looks like it's the biggest one. I've got a hedge of sedum that I've done on a video before, but this one is luscious. It's pushing out, doing great. I might have to go on the other side just so you can see it. So over here I've got more cannas. Calla lilies, not canna. Calla lilies. This is more of the orange variety, and that's pretty. This one is the pink variety. I really like this pink one. There's another one I'm going to show you at the fourth garden bed. It has more of a burgundy and beautiful rich color. I've got this, I don't know. These are mop head hydrangeas. I'm not too happy with them. You can see they've got issues and they're stressing and I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if it's like they either have too much shade or not enough shade. Too much sun, not enough sun, they won't bloom. Too wet, too dry. I can never seem to get it correctly with the mop head hydrangeas. Now the one that I put out in the field and leave it, they do great. But the ones that are in pots or in my garden, they seem to suffer, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. Maybe they just don't want the attention I'm giving them. This here is a fig tree, and I do not recall the name of it. They don't get very big, but they sure are tasty. And you can see it's fully loaded. Every single branch has a whole bunch of them. And I got friends that cannot wait until they ripen so she can come and eat all of them. I like figs, but they're not my favorite. And the hubby likes fig jam. And I'm sorry for all of those who are homesteaders out there making jams and stuff. I've never been one to make jam, preserve food, which I really should, because if you think about it, look at all this food that you can preserve. Look at all those figs. Isn't that amazing? Just off of one little tree. And they are easy to take cuttings from and easy to propagate. So definitely recommend doing that. I've got 2 pennies down below here. They bloomed once and it was only like 2 blooms and now they're just foliage. I'm not sure. I'm still debating whether I really want to keep them in the garden or not. They're not doing anything for me, so they may just come out because I'd rather have the space for something else that I really love and enjoy. The Japanese maple over here is doing good. You can see she's getting shaded out. But I'm waiting to move the fig tree. Eventually all the fruit tree will move out of this garden. Right now they've been planted from when we formed the bed because we haven't created an area for them. So once we do that, we're going to try to dig them all out, then transplant them and see how well that takes. On this one, this is a chase tree and it's beautiful. I would recommend getting a chase tree if you don't have one. They kind of remind me and they're reminiscent of the butterfly bush. Great pollinator tractor. This one is about 6 feet tall and she literally was in the ground for only since last year. So she grew quite a bit and they only get to about 12 feet tall. So they could be a small tree. I am not sure how to do the back side of the garden, so let's just stay with the first garden and I'll swing around on the back side. So the back side of this garden has the sedum hedge over here that I created. And she's doing great. I mean, look at her. And as long as we don't get too much rain, she won't flop. But right now she's standing up pretty tall and straight. Just a complete hedge over here. That's perfect. And then this is just the back side with a couple more of the same thing. Got a Japanese maple over here, more coneflowers. I did try to get some winter interest by putting in a spruce. She's only supposed to get 6 to 8 feet tall. Hardiness down to 30. So I put her here because I didn't expect her to get as big as another one. And oh my goodness, look at this. I would have totally missed this if I didn't come on this side. But this is the Stargazer lily. Isn't that beautiful? So I intermix putting some bulbs down here. And bulbs is very difficult to grow here because of the hot humidity and the red clay. Most of the bulbs that I put down tend to rot out. But those ones seems to be doing great. And then I've got some blueberries on these guys. 2 blueberries, which I've already collected and ate. And then this here is a pomegranate tree. And it actually had a couple flowers, but only one took and then it fell off during a storm. So no fruit this year for the pomegranate. And this is the first flower bed. Let's go to the second one. Got butterflies flying everywhere. So this is the first garden bed. And then the second garden bed kind of mix in over here. This is the Cleome patch. You can see what I mean when I say that it gets too much rain and your sedum will flop. This is what the sedum will do when it gets too much rain. They flop over and then the center opens up like this. It's not very pretty. I've also got grass that's taller than the plant, but I was trying to weed eat it, and in doing so, I actually cut down some of the Cleome, so I kind of just let the grass grow in there with the Cleome. And then once they're done, I'm probably going to go in and then cut them off. So this is the Cleome patch. It's doing good. I have a Japanese maple in here. Do not know the variety. Most of them I grew either from seedling or cuttings from friends. So they don't really have brand names on them. So that's one in there. And intermixed down below is another Coleus. Then I got an angel trumpet in here that grew. And this one doesn't have any flower as of yet. But hopefully once all these bloom, I can cut them back down and then they can have a chance to grow over there. This is allium. And they are about done. They're kind of ugly once they get to be this big. And this one is all wonky. See how it grows like that? It's never like just straight upright. And I'm not sure why, but this is what it looks like. But they're pretty in the springtime because they're one of the very first things to bloom. But it's all wonky and in here. Like here's this one. I'm trying to pull it out. But they're all wonky and not straight and just doing their thing. So that's my allium. And then I've got more coneflowers over here, just different color, which means different variety, but I don't know what they are. Got a hedge of seed of Coleus in the front. And then on the second one is more of a hardy hibiscus. This is the pink variety from a cutting. Look at that little butterfly on it. Oop. That's a star Japanese magnolia. It blooms in the springtime. I've got this is a plum tree, but it's ornamental only. It doesn't really fruit, but the color, pretty much the leaf color stays about this all year round, and it's really pretty. I mean, it gives really good contrast to the garden. I've got a Cleome in here, the self-seeded. Couple Cleome actually self-seeded, so I just let them be. And then I've got over here, this is a panicle hydrangea. I do not know the variety, but it's really floppy. I'm not liking it at all because it's taking up so much space. I think I'm going to go in and remove it. I've got the limelight back here, which is looking really pretty, and then another limelight right here that's being overshadowed by this panicle hydrangea. So I think I'm going to remove it. I do sporadically plant bulbs. The gladiolus, I love gladiolus. They're so beautiful, so formal and regal, but they do tend to flop. So they're best for cut flowers. Most of them have already bloomed, but here's a couple that still lingers, but that's really pretty. Then I've got the canna lilies right there. That's the orange and red flower. Behind that is the Japanese maple, another red variety. This is just a regular maple I grow because hopefully in the fall time it'll give me some good color interest in the garden. This is the hardy hibiscus Midnight Marvel. Look at all the flowers that are in bloom. She is so pretty. And look at all the buds that are still forming and still to come. So this is what she looks like. Rich red lipstick. Beautiful, beautiful color. Contrast to the foliage that she creates. And then you got these buds that open. So of course the bloom, as you know, lasts only a day. But then you'll get new blooms like this one will last a day and then it'll wilt. Tomorrow these new ones will form and then they will drop and then these buds will eventually open up. And so it's consecutive. So you will always get flower. I deadhead and I put all the dead blooms just down so that it works into the ground. I deadhead and I just drop. I know it's messy, but the ground's getting some nutrients eventually when that breaks down. But look at how all these clusters right there. And then this beautiful flower. Gorgeous. And then on the back side of this one, let's walk around. Ooh, this is Eden. She is White Eden Climbing Rose. She's looking very sad. She was beautiful in the springtime. The only thing that flushed out, I mean, she was a statement. If you looked at my previous video, she was beautiful. First rose to bloom. She was glorious. I mean, she filled up this whole trellis with all of her foliage and flowers. And then comes the humidity and black spot sets in, and she literally just defoliated completely. You can see these are all new growth that are coming in, and this is the second flush of bloom that's coming in. New buds are coming in, but I don't think she will get like full like how she was in the springtime. We may get full again in the fall time when the humidity isn't as bad, so she might flush back out. We will see how that works. So that's the second year. This is her second year in the ground. Over here I have another angel trumpet. This one is pushing out new buds. Can't wait to see what she'll look like. Backside I've got elephant ear. This is part of my mini herd that we divided in a previous video, and they are now in need of dividing, so they're a little bit crazy. This is just the backside of the hardy hibiscus. Elephant ear, limelight hydrangea, she's great. This is of course the allium that is kind of floppy. You can see the center of the allium. I don't know why it does this, but it flops almost like the sedum. See, it's not sitting upright. So I'm going to go in, and there's too many bulbs in that hole anyway, so I'm going to have to go in and divide and then replant each individual bulb. The canna lily, I'm not sure. The debate is still out. They're pretty. They do attract hummingbirds. But I don't know. It's just, I'm not sure if I really like them. And they do take over a garden. Another chase tree over here. I'm going to go on this backside. And just this backside I still have to fill up. These are new cuttings that came in and they're blooming this year. But as you can see, this is just one stem of the hardy hibiscus. So they don't seem to cover that much area, but one stem eventually turns into one plant. And then you can see over there, the main one, it's like 6 feet tall, well 5 feet tall by almost 5 feet wide. So eventually this area will fill up. I'm really bad at gauging a plant and how big the mature size will be. That's why it's so compact in some areas and then so spacious in another. I really don't like to see all this space, but I know that this is going to get super big, so we'll see. Cleome over here. Got a Jane magnolia that we're trying to grow. I had a big one right here that for some reason died off. I'm not sure why. Probably root rot. I contribute most of the death of my plants to root rot in the soil, just because we get so much rain, and then with the humidity, and then with the red clay soil. We do amend the soil, but even sometimes amending it, you still have too much rain and so on. So this is the second flower bed. We're gonna go off to the third one. This is the third one. I try to mirror this one over here to the same as this one over here because of the arch. This is the arch we created, and we realized that the arch, this is probably going to be the last year. Next year we're going to need to make one. It's really unsteady, and this is just wood that we grew from the pine tree in the property. We cut it down, we milled it, and then we built our own. There is a video on getting this set up, so you can watch it if you want to. But on one side is the hardy hibiscus, other side is the hardy hibiscus, just kind of mirroring it, just so there'll be some kind of structure and formality. But everything is doing their own thing. Most of these trees over here are fruit trees. Anything that's really a tree is more of a fruit tree that just needs to go out once we get the orchard area ready and prepped. On this side, I've got Miss Butterfly. Just transplanted this beautiful coneflower right here. She was in the shade for most of the time, so that's why she looks so wimpy and skinny. But over here, she's going to get full sun, so I expect her to get really robust. I love roses, and for the love of roses, growing them in the south is just really not really something you should do, but I do it anyways. But with the black spot, they defoliate, and they do look a little scantily. They do require a little bit more care than what I may have time for, but I still try. I try to keep up. I do spray them in the springtime, but even then, black spot just comes on and they defoliate. So that'll be something that I keep wanting to grow in hopes that it'll eventually one day will realize that I love it and it'll love me back. I've got more butterfly bush down here. These are more compact form than Miss Molly. Miss Molly can get however large you want her to get. But this one stays more compact. They only get to about 3 feet. Actually, they're like 2 feet, maybe 3 at the most. And they're more compact than Miss Molly, which has more of a spreading habit. This is Miss Molly. Now, she used to be a standard, which is, I did a multi-trunk on her. And with one of the windstorms, she fell over so bad, I had to cut her all the way back. You can see this is from previous year's growth here. I cut her back right here. That was how big the stump was, and it's still lopped over. Coming over here, I've got some flowers. I've got gladiolus that I'm trying to cut down, trim down. We've got trees in the back. That's actually a grapefruit tree. It has thorns, a nectarine, and then peach, and peach. And it almost looks like I have peach leaf curl. That's when they curl up like that. Either that or for the past 4 days, we haven't had enough rain, and so they curled up. I'm hoping that that's the case and not the leaf curl. Down here, I've got some mums. These mums are pretty when they grow, but they struggle, and I'm not sure why. So we're going to give him one more try. If not, pull him out of the ground. More of the same mum, just dividing them up. Miss Molly. I've got alliums back there. More not a canna, gladiolus. This one is a different variety. Pretty color. It's like an orange color. See if I can turn her around. It's like a yellowish orange. She's really pretty. But they are very nice for cut flowers. Got more coleus down here, and then a spider lily. Spider lily is really pretty when she's in bloom, but ooh, she's a sight when she's done blooming. I've got vermilion here, getting big and luscious again. This is the only one that survived. The other ones, I don't know. Sometimes they, like I said, I think they die in the wintertime because it's too wet and then they get too cold. But this one survived, so I took some cuttings and we propagated some more. More coleus to give us color. Butterfly bush. Limelight. I've got a burning bush right here. And then back there is another fig tree. And then I lost a fig tree, or I pulled one out. I can't remember which. Over here I have another evergreen for winter interest. Let's see what this one is. This is an arborvitae, emerald green arborvitae. She's only supposed to get 12 to 15 feet. So that'll be good because she's kind of in the back border. Got 2 pomegranate. This one was leaning all the way over, so we staked it. And of course now she doesn't even need staking. I'm not sure why, but so she barely even needs staking. But that one fell all the way over, so we're gonna have to stake in. Got, what else is there? Let's see. So that's limelight there. And then that is another Japanese magnolia. I love Japanese magnolia. They're so pretty in the springtime when they bloom. Lots of elephant in the background, so we'll walk around the backside. Got more of gladiolus here. These ones are starting to just bloom when most of them are already gone. I've got these 2 that's coming out. And then it looks like, no, there's a bug here that is eating a honeybee. So that is Stargazer Lily, along with some really tall grass I have in here. This one I'm not sure what happened, but it looks like she's dying off. This was a Cleome, or it is a Cleome, but she's struggling somehow. And then, of course, hardy hibiscus. Beautiful, isn't she? And look at all the buds on her. And then I've got, that's a plum. It's got some fruit on it. Let me zoom in just so you can see the plum. But we had a couple of plums. She had a whole bunch of plum on her. And then a windstorm came and a lot of them fell off. We had some pretty gnarly windstorms. Got more peach tree up here. Underneath it, butterfly bush. She's not doing great in the shade. Coleus. Mums. Of course, coneflower. That's a forsythia over there. I'm not sure if I like her. I think she requires more room than what I have in here for her. This area over here in front of that, the Japanese magnolia, used to be the red bee balm that I cut down. She got to be like 4 feet tall, so I cut her down and you can see new growth coming up. Those are all new growth for the bee balm. Calla lilies, salvia, coneflower, mums, Texas salvia. Texas salvia, look at the foliage on it. It's so pretty. I really like it. And they come up with this purple flower. Oh, speaking of that, look. There is one right here. There's a purple flower from us. This is a Texas sage. I got it because my sister was in Texas and we went to the, they call it First Monday Market, which happened once a month. That's where all the vendors come out bringing all of their stuff. It's amazing. If you ever get a chance to go to First Monday in Texas, I definitely recommend going. That's really cool to see. This is a beautiful, Cleome, 2 Cleome, I believe. Maybe possibly 3, because she looks really big. Canna lilies. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what flower they look like. I really like the leaf structure of this one way more than the other one in the second flower bed. The leaf structure reminds me of like a banana plant. So I think I'm going to transplant these out to the front garden because they provide such a structure statement. But I was waiting to see what kind of flowers they bloom. Look, they're almost as tall as the tree, and this is the first year they've been in. I planted them, got this cutting, or the little bulbs, whatever you call them, like the little corm that you get when you divide them up. I got it free at a plant swap, and they're doing good over here. So we'll see. Salvia. White butterfly in here. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, there it goes. Beautiful white butterfly. Lasted only like 1 second. I've got some more calla lilies. And then this here, can y'all guess what it is? Basil. I love basil. Basil and mozzarella cheese and tomatoes with a balsamic glazed. Ooh, yummy. That is so good. That's why I have this basil here. I don't make pesto. I don't do anything. I just eat it fresh with all of the ingredients I just mentioned, glazed with balsamic glaze. Coneflower, coleus, another cutting of the hardy hibiscus. We got limelight over there. This is an apple tree. I believe that one is the Honey Crisp. This is a Red Delicious. The Red Delicious suffered. It was actually almost fully fallen over from one of the windstorms, so I had to stake it up. You can see there's a metal rod right there trying to hold her up. But you can see just from all of that issue, she's not really, like, her foliage and growth is not really as good as the one next to her. Double knockout roses. This is really the only one that doesn't really have any trouble growing down south. Okay, so we're going to come on the back side of the third flower bed. I don't really have too much planted over here. Just looking on the back side, this is just what the back side looks like with the plants that I mentioned. Look at some of these peaches. They don't look like they form right, and it's got some issue. I don't spray them or anything, so I guess in order to get some really good one, you might need to treat them. This is the beautiful hardy hibiscus, the pink one. I really like that color. And then this is my herd of elephant. Oh, these are the plums over here. And then these are the herd of elephant I have all along here that will need to be divided again. You usually can tell when to divide them up because look over here, you can see each of these stalks are individual plants that you can separate and then grow as plants. I try not to weed eat too close because whenever I do that, I tend to cut the plants. So that's why you see some of the grasses like within here. But that's not why I'm doing this video. Just want to show you guys, but each of these are a plant in itself. So you can go in and divide, and really, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants over there that I can now divide up and get some more. So now we'll have multiple herds of elephant. More elephant. This is angel trumpet, same variety. Elephant. More elephant plants. Elephant plants. Elephant plants. A cutting of a hardy hibiscus. Angel trumpet. Let me show you this side of what this clematis looks like. But she hasn't bloomed for me yet, so I'm hoping by fall time she'll bloom. Otherwise she might be coming off of this archway. But she's growing and she's very healthy, but just no plants wet. And I honestly, like I said, most of my stuff are from cutting. This clematis is from a cutting. I don't know her variety. I'm assuming it's an old variety because it's not flowering on the new growth. So I think we have to continuously wait. It may not even flower this year. Maybe by next year it will flower. All right, so this is the third garden bed. And this archway over here, we're going to put a hammock. So once we get it to be finished, it's going to turn into a hammock that we can lay underneath and enjoy. So this will begin the fourth flower bed, and over here we have sedum, mums, and I finally found my Eden pink climbing rose. So she is this year just in the ground. Give me a couple blooms, but you can see right here the tip of them. But sooner rather than later, I need to put a trellis up for her so I can start training her to climb up the trellis, so she doesn't get too leggy and flop all over the place, because she is a climber. We're going to climb her up here on the arch and then over and across. So then that way, I think what we're going to do is build the, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. We're going to build the swing, and then over top we're going to put a shade cloth just so it doesn't get so hot when we come out here and use that. And then over top of the shade cloth, we're going to put some kind of archway or something for the Eden to climb up it and then grow and flower. So that's the game plan. We'll see how it goes. I've got Granny Smith apple. She is doing amazing. We tasted her apple, pulled 2 from the tree, and they were really good. Definitely would be a lot better with caramel, but look how big this one is. It's like a softball size. Too bad I don't have a small one. So there's one that fell on the ground, and you can see it's because she's got some issue in it and something's eating it, so she fell off the stem. But this is about a baseball size. That's more of like a softball size, you can see in comparison. So she does get really big if no issues. And then coming on this size, I've got, what are you? I just had a brain fart. Okay, we're going to come back to that. Phlox, there we go. This is a phlox. She's beautiful. This is an older variety, so she does get that powdery mildew on her if it gets too humid. But she's doing great over here. She's starting to bloom. This is her time to shine. And she does great propagating from cutting as well. So she's doing great. I don't know the variety. I bought her at I think it's the Widowie Master Gardener plant. And all it said on the tag was phlox, but it doesn't give the variety. So we'll see. I got a Miranda Lambert over here. She's beautiful, but her foliage is coming in fresh. You can see black spots all over her. Coleus, sedum, more. You can see coneflowers seems to do well. So I try to keep with what does well in the garden and in the humidity and the heat in this area. This is my all-time favorite rose, which is getting eaten up by June bug. This is Double Delight hybrid tea. Her smell is intoxicating. Her flowers, you can see, duotone. She's really pretty, coming out all white, and then when she opens up all the way, her tips turns this beautiful, beautiful, rich, like Barbie hot pink color. And then as she ages, she will get more of this red, well, or hot pink color. She's really pretty. And then I've got more Stargazer Lily over here. Coneflower, Coleus, Butterfly Bush, Coneflower, Sedum, Anne or Jane, Japanese Magnolia, Hardy Hibiscus. This is the 4-in-1 cherry tree. She's doing great this year, fleshing out, but you can see she still kind of is iffy. She did not produce any fruit this year, neither did she last year, so I think I might need to threaten her to make sure she produced the following year. But if we remove her from the ground, she may stress out again and may not produce again. But the June bug, the Japanese beetle, are loving her. You can see her foliage. That's what happens to them. And then over here we've got more coneflowers, sedums, Julia Child. Got another hardy hibiscus. I love that color. Reminds me again of a Barbie doll. Hot pink color. Look at her. Isn't that pretty? And look at all those buds that are on her growing. I want to say Rockin' the Blue Salvia, I think. That one's really pretty. It's definitely a lot taller. Sedum. Calla Lily, another variety of sedum. I'm not sure what this one is, but she flopped around. And then, of course, the dogs like to lay. And see, that's a little area where they lay down because it's so cool underneath the bird bath. Got some more. This is the Calla Lily. That is a really pretty burgundy color. She is really big. This one I really need to transplant and divide up. You can see she's like outgrowing her spot over here. Coneflower, Coleus, pineapple sage that's starting to come up. It was stressing really bad, but it's finally starting to come out. Cleome, another hardy hibiscus. This one I love. I love this Calla Lily, and it almost looks like it's two-tone. Look at this when it gets darker. Look at that color. So this is it when it's more, I guess, softer pink, and this one's like more of it's a burgundy color. You can see the difference in the color variety. You get the 2-in-1 right there. Knockout roses over here. Oh, look at this bee. He's like, I'm tired. I need a rest. And this, of course, monarch butterfly. What are you? Milkweed. This is a milkweed that's self-propagated everywhere from seedling once you have them. And then once the flower drop off, they form this seed pod. You can see right there. That's a seed pod. And then they drop seeds by the million, so they come and go everywhere. Knockout roses. They're doing great. And then look at all those buds on this pink, this beautiful pink hardy hibiscus. Ooh, I feel like my hand is shaking holding this for 44 minutes. My hand started shaking without me realizing it. And then, sorry, this is the back side of the fourth flower bed. So that's why you're seeing everything, but kind of in reverse. Over here, they kind of meshed together. With the windstorm, you can see the hardy hibiscus kind of got really floppy and she fell over. So this is just one branch that she's just laying on the ground. And these are her flowers meshing with this one over here. And I usually come in and I just deadhead all the foliage just so it doesn't spend its energy into forming seed pods. So I just do that just to get more flowers. And then I've got over here double knockout roses. I do have, oh, what do you call this plant? Because everyone loves them, but I don't. So I just grew because everybody was growing them, but I can't remember the name of it. That's our dog thinking something is around here. It'll come to me, the name. Granny Smith. And that brings us underneath this archway. And we are going to walk to the fifth flower bed, which is the center flower bed. Over here I have my roses, coneflowers, butterfly. So coneflower, roses, that's Julia Child. Butterfly bush. I bought two other Double Delight just because I love the roses, but you can see they're kind of in the garden. Cleome is taking over. Coneflower. Calla Lily. Another Miranda Lambert. She's starting to push out new growth. Sedum. Cathedral Bell. Can't even say enough about how amazing this beautiful rose is. Her scent is really, really sweet fragrance. And her flowers is even more beautiful. Just a sweet, soft pink color. And look at the new buds are coming up. Look at how beautiful those are. And then these ones, they're like clusters of bloom. And then over here, I still need to kind of work it a little bit, but I've got coneflower, Robinia, another coneflower. So this one I bought on Logi's greenhouse. I can't remember the variety, but she's so pretty. Look at her. She's like a lavender color, but still kind of within the pink variety. So everything is, for some reason, I'm attracted to this pink color in the garden. You can see the grass. I got to keep it back. So that's what weed eating does. Takes a lot of time. And then this tree in the middle over here is a black tulip Japanese magnolia. And I cannot wait. It's supposed to get to be like 30 feet tall and 15 to 20 feet wide. So that's pretty massive if you think about it. If it ever actually gets to full size, it will fill up this entire garden. So I'm not sure. I'm thinking with the area presented to her, she might get like 15, 20 height and then maybe 10 width. So we'll see. So that is my garden flower bed, you guys. And I think I'm gonna just stop it there because I can do the garden bed. Well, they're all garden bed. I can do the vegetable and fruit bed, but that might add time to this video. But let me show you something really quickly, and then I'm gonna end this video tour. I got these Chinese beans, and look at them. They're like forever long. They're so fun to grow. If you have kids, I would definitely recommend you growing this because they're going to be impressed, because I'm impressed. This is such a fun bean to grow. And look at them. They're hanging everywhere. And they start out so tiny. Like, this is how they start out. Like, not even fitting the palm of your hand, or even smaller. Look at how small that is. Like a fingernail long. And then as they grow, look at them. As they grow, they get a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit more, and then eventually, let me show you one. Eventually, they look like a worm, like a ginormous earthworm. Look at this. Isn't that crazy? But that is so much fun to have in the garden. Look at this. I'm just going to hang that up there. Look at that. I'm getting a kick out of it. I get tickled at looking at it. It's just amazing how things grow. Look at this. This here came from this. Like how is that even possible? You get these tiny little things that will eventually turn into this big, ginormous, like, I don't know, 15, 18-inch long. And then I've got all of these, so I need to harvest them and bring them inside and freeze them. So, okay, that is it for my garden tour for June 2025. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you find something about it that you can take away. And, you know, I hope your garden is doing great. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.